Soul Survivors. We are live. Oh, dang it. I got to grab something. You guys can hear me. So, how's everybody doing today? You guys are logging in. And I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the things that I learned at professional development today. It's pretty interesting. Those of you who know me, you know that I'm a teacher, and we were at the high school and we were talking about trauma, some of the traumas kids go through and how to deal with it. And it was really interesting that it takes 26 hours sometimes for the child or person to process through the trauma that they went through. So let's say that day I was cranky, I yelled at the kid. They're not going to like me for probably at least 26 hours for them to kind of calm down, process what they went through. And I found it really interesting that it takes 26 hours for that to process through in the brain. So sometimes we need to give people some grace if they had a bad day. And the other things I want to talk to you about is the reactive abuse. We talk about the narcissism, how to spot it, and is everything succinct. A lot of psychologists or psychiatrists get it wrong. We also did a personality test today, which was quite interesting. And they had where you pick, you have a couple columns of 4 choices across, and you didn't really know exactly where it was going to fit in. You just had to kind of do it. And then at the end, there's little codes and you get this color, and your color kind of relates to your personality. And what was interesting is based on your personality can also show the opposite effect of how people perceive you. And the other thing I found interesting is I was between a blue and an orange, and I was higher on the blue, but when you talked about the orange, that was a little bit more spot on. So when they're doing these personality tests, sometimes it deals with your mood. Are you low self-esteem that day, or are you anxious that day? Are you quickly going through it, just kind of off the cuff answering, kind of like, when you take a test, they say go with your first answer, or are you overanalyzing it? But those kind of things are kind of difficult because they don't always match up, or they're kind of congruent, and it's like, which do I pick? And I got lots of people joining in. You guys were fantastic yesterday. Lots of donations. Definitely appreciate it. You guys help support the channel. It's 11:24 p.m. right now, and I decided to stay awake to talk to you guys. Guess who is here? Random piano guy. I have a piano. Cheryl and Jack and Texas and Roosh and User and Ranger. We got lots of people joining in. Feel free to open the topic up to whatever you guys would like to talk about. Hi, Cindy. I am Cynthia Schiller. Also Cindy. I was just, I want a new stage name. And I was thinking Cindy Brady, but braid my hair and spell it Braiby. Cheryl, darling. Is it Cherry or Sherry? It could be Cherry or Sherry. And Cam. Oh, what did you say? So I just got a follow. Thank you. It says more likes can attract viewers. Keep it up. You guys are helping spread the word. So like I said, feel free to talk. I love that love. You guys are awesome. And my hair is fluffy today, so I'm going to go ahead and brush it. It's kind of like a get ready for bed with me. Because I know when I brush my hair, it gets rid of it closes off the cuticle a little bit and kind of helps keep it a little bit healthier. So bear with me while I do this. So the personality thing was interesting, not so much on understanding who I am, but on understanding how people sometimes perceive certain personalities. So there it had 4 different personalities, and it was pretty interesting. When people filled them out, it kind of related to what they are. But I found the most important thing is how people perceive. Sometimes people perceive it as, thank you, Sherry Cherry. I'm not sure if it's Cherry, but thank you. Thank you very much. I'm trying to let it grow. So the other thing I was thinking about, though, is, on these personality traits, a lot of it is like self-perception, how you perceive yourself. So you could sit there and say that you were kind, And maybe it's like, I'm kind, I do my sister's homework for her so she doesn't have to worry about it. Is that necessarily being kind, or is it being hindering? So sometimes people have a certain perception about themselves. It says, encourage your viewers to share your live and invite more friends. We got lots of people joining and following, but got lots of people. Thank you for liking the live. You think I'm real? I am definitely real. Thank you for that, because I do kind of try to pride myself on that, because a lot of people are into masking. We all mask in some way, though. And we all have little insecurities or little triggers, and trying to understand ourselves, because there's a lot of toxic relationships out there. And what I think is important is sometimes understanding each other, giving each other grace. I know a lot of different neurodivergent or mental illness, sometimes they're just misunderstood. And so on my YouTube, I got 3 platforms open right now. I got Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, but that kind of helps with the conversation. Thank you so much. It says you look great, very beautiful. I appreciate that, because it's 11:30 at night, long day. And I think your name is Wes. I got to wait for it to get past that crack on my screen. So feel free to donate. I will get a new glass screen. I dropped my phone, and I've been saying that for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, but thank you very much. So, you know, my YouTube channel deals a lot with like narcissism. TikTok, I want to kind of open it up to other things too. So feel free to let me know what you guys like to listen to, learn about. I'll do more like active things as soon as I get my house all set up. I just kind of moved in here, and I appreciate all the compliments. I'm absolutely loving going live with you guys. It kind of motivates me. I should be in bed. But also, you know, all the love that you guys have shown with those buttons. But I have a lot of insight. I am certified to teach psychology. I've been trauma informed. And then, like I said, right now, we just went back to school on Tuesday. So during these professional developments, we dealt with like active shooters, different traumas that people go through, adverse childhood experiences, and how that forms a personality. And I know there are times where there's misdiagnosis on what somebody is. So even if a psychologist or psychiatrist gets it wrong, sometimes when we're trying to figure out our people, also the word narcissism is overused. It could be something completely different. So I want to kind of talk about the perception. Where am I from? Bill asks. I am from Michigan. 360. You want me to turn around? Tell you what, once I get my rose goal of 100, I'll turn around for you. How's that? But yeah, I am from Michigan, Eastern Standard Time. I've been trying to go live every night with you guys. This is a little bit later. I've had to work late the last 2 nights. I'll be working late tomorrow, getting our schedules ready. I teach English as a second language. And I was supposed to have 3 sections for English as a second language. I only did 2, so I had to completely rearrange things. But the chat is open for whatever topics you guys would like to talk about. I just thought the self-perception, you know, when we think about who we are, and sometimes our part in different relationships. You know, sometimes we can be, I'm really giving, and other people will see you as being too like pressuring or not giving enough space. And it gets difficult when people mask or they don't communicate certain things, or they communicate it, you know. Positive criticism is fantastic, but when people start talking with attitudes, it starts triggering people. And, you know, with the divorce rate and breakups and all that kind of stuff, you know, and also the masculine and feminine energy, I do think there's something to that. But Albert is here, and Brandon, we got 7. Kane is here. Good to have everybody. So what about you? Got Blue Legs. How'd you get the name Blue Legs? Cigar. Oh, good to have you back. I remember you. And we got Joss and Craig and Jeff. Oh my gosh. So and there was this other live creator who had utilized reverse psychology. And I think a lot of narcissists inadvertently use reverse psychology to where it's almost like they get you under this like crazy spell. Just Rachel is here. Johnny, nice to have everybody. Feel free to hit that follow button. I'm 2 days behind getting my goal, but we got people joining in. Feel free to say hi. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. And the reason I open it up instead of just doing pre-recorded, uploaded videos is because I think it's really important. Whatever you guys are struggling with or dealing with, maybe not struggling, but dealing with, that, through that personality test today, there's different perceptions that we have. I also see different toxic relationships where, through different channels where you see what people are saying and you're like, whoa, you're kind of toxic too. Sometimes it's reactive. It's reactive abuse. There's also a lot of like hatred, anger. How do we deal with that anger? We can use anger to our benefit. And also the things that we go through, there's a lesson in it. And so if you guys, share your stories and are, honest about it, that we can kind of pick through it and see, if you want to stay in a relationship, how to make it healthy instead of toxic, or to understand, a lot of narcissists like to say that we are the narcissist. And what exactly is that? Sometimes it is that reactive abuse. We are picking up the traits of the narcissist. Do I like candy corn? I don't really know. Do I like candy corn? I used to have a big sweet tooth. I used to eat 2 packs of peanut M&Ms every day, but I had a miscarriage. And ever since then, I don't really eat sweets. It was really weird. So I just take it as my little angel baby made me healthy. But candy corn was okay. There were certain times when I would really like it for that day. But no, it's not something I seek out. What about you? Do you like candy corn? Is this a personality test? Do I like candy corn? Sparky, I don't know if I've ever been asked that. Yeah, just like jelly beans, I'm not crazy about them and I'll eat them. I don't know. Are you stuck in the 1980s? I just moved in this house, so give me some grace. I grew up in the 80s, so no, I just moved. Are you talking about my backdrop? It's I don't know what to, like in the bedroom. I just moved in here like 2-3 months ago, but it's on the lake. So if I gotta be stuck in the 80s to be on the lake, I'll do it. And Deja Lynn is here. Nice to have you. But yeah, the bedroom is definitely paneled. This is kind of like wood paneling, not like your stick up paneling. The 90 pine walls have to go. Do they? I don't know. It kind of has a cabin feel. I don't know. This is the only area, the kitchen and the dining room area. The rest has, like, over there is drywall, and then over there is like white pine paneling. So give me some grace, because next month I'm replacing my entire roof. So that's what I have to do first. And then eventually, I don't know, like the house is okay, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind tearing it down and starting over. So got to kind of figure out where to budget and put what where. So sorry you don't like my knotty pine, but it is a lake house, so that's all I care. But yeah, definitely doing the roof first, and then I'll figure out what to do. Hey, Mimi. Hey, John. Good to have you. And Kevin is here, and Sandra. Nice to have everybody. Andre. So the personality test, though, was kind of an eye-opener on self-perception, and also looking through people's comments and where they overlook their own toxicity. So there are lessons in this. There's lessons for us to grow from, and the boundary setting, the reverse psychology. It's so weird. And sometimes, when you take a stand for yourself, that's when the narcissist comes back. And it's kind of mind blowing. It's like, what is going on? We had this relationship for years, wouldn't do anything about it. Now all of a sudden you want, want to change, and you're willing to put in effort. But there's different cycles. There's a difference between, somebody who just doesn't like change and they like the control. Or, they don't want anybody else to have you. Do they necessarily want to have them for yourself? But you, Mr. Sparky, I would take it all down and turn it horizontally so it looks like a modern shiplap. That might be kind of cool. That's kind of a cool idea. Huh. I don't know. Yeah, it's got like the speckled, some of you guys can see my ceiling, but Charlie is here. But I'd love to hear how everybody's day went. I actually took a nap in my car today. I've been so worn down with being sick for like 2.5 weeks. But there's so much that teachers actually learn. We had our school active shooting thing yesterday. And, there's so many traumas in this world. Also, I live in the 6th most dangerous city in Michigan. So there's even more traumas on top. Thank you for that like. That definitely helps with the algorithm. And, so back to the personality test is, my answer wasn't exactly, perfect. It was more the orange than the blue, but based on my answers, because I was kind of like a decision, like, I don't know. And I hate those where they're like, what do you like? And you're like, none of these really fit me. And they're like, which one? Pick one. And how accurate is that kind of test? Hi, Debbie. Debbie, my recipe lady, is here. Sparky says naps are the best for energy-based days. And Taiwan, I live on the outside, but I do work in a very urban area. There's lots of shootings, and it's kind of a dangerous area, to be honest with you. It's really sad reading the neighborhood stuff. Hi, Randy. So I don't live in the hood. I live on the outskirts. But I do service pretty low income, and, some really good kids. Our school, I teach English as a second language, and we have about 10-11% of our population is kind of foreign. And, so there's also stressors, let alone traumas. And if you hear some of the things that they went through back in their home countries, or even just death of family members. So what's on top of a hood? I live on the roof, not the hood. The roof. And B-Love is here. But yeah, naps definitely help. I was able within 20 minutes to fall asleep and have a dream. But Mr. Sparky says, unfortunately, there's more guns than people. I think you're right. And people are going through so many stressors. I get a little worried about the upcoming election on what is going to happen. I know there's already people that are struggling, and violence. People are agitated. The way the brain works when it's in that fight or flight state, people don't process things. I also mentioned, for those of you just joining, that when there's a trigger, sometimes it takes 26 hours to process and calm down and give the other person a chance. So thank you guys for commenting. Commenting makes it a lot easier for these lives. Debbie, how's your day going? And Mr. Spiky says, unfortunately, there's more guns, and you're right. You are right. And so some comments in this live were filtered to protect your experience. What are you guys saying? Oh my goodness. What are you saying? You guys being polite? You being polite? Yeah, I gotta watch it, otherwise I get restricted. So some comments, yeah, that's okay though. Like I said, I'm gonna brush my hair so it's a little bit silkier. We're going through some crazy weather. It's hot, then rainy and humid. So this is, I figure it's my time to do this before I go to bed. Debbie says, hard to explain. Oh, your day was hard to explain. Is that a good or bad thing? And Big Swag is back. Good to have you here. So I'll be on for a little bit. Mr. Sparky says, my bad, I said the word. Oh, okay. You said the word and they don't like that. That's okay. Thank you for recognizing that. Yeah, I gotta be careful too on what I say. Big Swag says my wife. Oh, where's my ring? And Renee liked Ophelia. I saw something. What was it? I thought about you. It was roller skates and they were turned sideways. What did they say? I almost sent it to you. Someone skating. She's my skater girl. I'm going to give you a plug. Renee liked Ophelia. She's got some excellent artwork. And, networking is great. If you guys have friends, definitely network with them. But her artwork is fascinating. Really creative. And you have a couple of like coloring books too, don't you? Like the adult style. So Taiwan says, teach the children to not steal. Yeah. Sometimes there's people who do it for the thrill. Other times it's out of like desperation, or boredom. But, yeah. And, it's hard, just teaching someone. They have to be willing to receive what we are teaching. And sometimes people, when you try to teach them, they, I think Phantom, you are back. Phantom made my day yesterday. Look at that. Oh my gosh, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, you are going to be my number one gifter. Look at that. Check it out. 22 roses. Thank you. Number one gifter. I appreciate that. Miss Love. You got a cool name. And good evening, Phantom. How are you doing today? Nice to have you here. And I appreciate that. Did you see I posted? I gave you a little thank you. And Debbie says, probably bad. I've been this way for a few days. Just a family member fell off their path. Otherwise, I'm good. And, there are times that we get affected by other people. And, we have to give ourselves some grace. Some of us like really care about people. We've become so invested, and sometimes we feel helpless, and it can be quite stressful. It can get us depressed, and we have to learn different coping mechanisms. There's only so much that we can do. So I'm sorry you're going through that. We can pray, offer support, live the example that hopefully, I'm sorry. I know that's hard, and when do we give up on people? When do we stick by? When do we kind of remove ourselves for a little bit? We don't always have to say goodbye. Sometimes we just need a little break, or to let them know that we can't be around that, or give them resources. Taiwan says, teach the children math and science, not social justice playbook. I agree. Phantom says, yes, I had, you saw my little thank you. So good. I'm glad you saw that, Phantom. It popped up. I'm like, yeah, I am definitely saying thank you. I definitely appreciate my number one gifter. So yeah, social justice is not the way to go, or taking the law into your own hands. That, math and science is important, but a lot of social skills are not taught. And also with social media, have you guys called your parents? When's the last time you called your parents? Or your best friend? Sometimes we might send a quick little text, but text can be interpreted different ways, that we become so busy. Everything's so expensive, whether we're working or exhausted or depressed, or, hopefully you're not drinking or doing drugs to where you're missing out on time that you could be investing with people. That the social skills are gone. A lot of people are lonely, and they're lonely, but they're also depressed or anxious or low self-esteem. Like, I don't want to bother that person. I don't want to be a hindrance. Or you get irritated, like, I'm the only one investing in this relationship, but people start becoming accustomed if you're always the one reaching out. I've had friends like that where they're like, well, I haven't heard from you. And it's like, for how many years I was always the one reaching out, but they become accustomed to it. And so Phantom says, I agree. Always stay in contact with your family. Taiwan says the underpaid teachers today are out of control. They can't be fired. I'll tell you what, where I am, we do need our teachers. There are some school districts that will drop them at the drop of a hat. But we are on such a desperation need that they're changing. They just recently changed where teachers used to be evaluated based on their students' performance, but that's changed now. It's basically on the teacher, as opposed to exactly. But sometimes the underpaid teachers work like 16. Like right now, I'm pretty blessed with the position I have. I've also switched to I taught psychology, sociology, and women's studies the beginning of the year. And then before that, I taught art. Before that, I taught gym. Gym and art were great, way less stress. But before then, I was teaching grade level. And I was working like 16 hours a day, every day, even on the weekends, that it's almost insurmountable, the amount of work that teachers do. It's the only job I've ever cried at. I've had several jobs. It's very stressful. You take a lot of abuse from the kids. I've been bit, hit, kicked, thrown up on, and of course they lie. Sometimes being little tattletales, and you're like, what are you even talking about? But Phantom says, love art. One of my favorite things to do is draw and paint, as well as poetry. You like poetry? You can write me a little poem. I try poetry. I tend to be like symbolically poetic. I wish I was better at poetry. I like poetry too. So, Debbie says, I'm not depressed that he's an idiot. You're enlightened that he's an idiot. So the idiot is your family member, not your narc. Yeah, sometimes. Oh, Debbie, good. You're on both. I love it. And that's what's so nice is, oh, what are you guys doing? Oh, Phantom. My number one gifter. 50% of the live goal is completed. Celebrate the moment. 50%. We're getting there. Thank you. Look at that. Oh, it says 9 and now it's still climbing. 29, 30. You guys are great. 31. So what is that? 40? Excellent. Oh my gosh. Look at that smile. Oh, it's your son. Oh, that makes it hard. We had this deep love, want the best for our kids. And sometimes, do we just sit and let them, have the growth? Thank you guys for the likes and the gifts. That is amazing. That definitely makes my day. And like I said, it's going to go towards getting a new computer. My computer's so messed up. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That is awesome. 80% of the live goal is complete. Celebrate the moment. Woo. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Do we get it? Are we doing it? Oh my gosh. That is awesome. Say I'm not different. Sent TikTok universe to the dream. I don't know what that means. So we still have that subscription goal, 82 out of 100. We are almost there. sometimes we have to allow people to grow, and it can be hard, you know. There's a difference between supporting people and enabling people. So we have to you can support them for a while, but after a while, if they're not going to take the advice or information and use it for the good, or it's so much easier to do like the bad things, the difficult thing, or it's easier to do, the routine, or keeping that mask up, or just doing what you want. But there are repercussions. Every action has a consequence. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. And yeah. So how do you guys feel about the personality test? A lot of us try to have good relationships. If you're with a narcissist, that's completely different. Oh my gosh, there it goes again. Is that phantom again? Look at that. We're going to reach our goal. Live goal achieved. Check out the goal. Oh, what did I do? What did I set up? What did I set up? Phantom, you are awesome. We're going to set up a new goal. We got to do this together. Let's see what else we can do. I'm going to edit that. Let's see. How's some, what do we want? We want a heart. We'll do some heart puffs. We'll do heart puffs this time, kind of change it up. And I did promise a 360. So I'll stand up and do a little 360. What did I got to do? Pin. Oh, it did it wrong. Dang it. Yeah, I think that's okay. All right. So I told you. Here we go. There's your 360. Ta-da. You can't really tell. But that was my 360. How's that? I promised. I came through. Debbie says, tomorrow is my grandson's birthday. Liam will be 8. Are you going to do anything? Do you get to see him? I know you see him fairly often, which is really nice. But thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's so cool. And is it RD or Rad or Rod? So the more I do the hair combing, the straighter my hair will be and the silkier. So this is what I'm doing now. Kind of makes it nice to spend some time with you guys. That's a body doubling ADHD. You guys know anything about that? Phantom asks, may I ask what state are you from? I am from Michigan. I've also lived in South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, California, and traveled a lot. You're from North Carolina. My grandparents, is it Charlotte? Charlotte, North Carolina. Is that right? They lived on this nice little like lakey thing, and there's a island that we would always swim to. It was kind of like, I don't know. It was really interesting. I want to say Charlotte. My grandparents didn't really like North Carolina, but I love it. And also like South Carolina. I got stung by a man-of-war jellyfish in South Carolina. Phantom says Outer Banks is where you're from. Very, very nice. And have you always been in North Carolina? USA Mullet Man. There you go. Mullets are back in, guys. And Debbie says, I had my grandson today. Party is on Saturday by her mom. She's coming home tomorrow. Well, that'll be nice. Yeah, to have her come home. Very, very nice. It's nice. Hello from South Carolina. Yeah, I was gotta remember, Greenville, Columbia, and Myrtle Beach. Big Swag, can we see how tall you are, please? Do you want to see how tall I am? And thank you for that beautiful garland headpiece. You're decorating me. I love it. You can only see how tall, like you can hear. I'm touching my ceiling. So I am 6'1". You're from the Columbia area. The thing about Columbia is I'm not crazy about peach cobbler. Oh my gosh, was that good? It was like at a gas station type thing or something, but And I was kind of staying in a hotel for a while, but oh, it was so good. Southern cooking is a lot better than cooking in Michigan. And that's the truth. Like down south, the food is definitely, definitely better. Phantom says, hopefully we will help you get closer to your new computer. I appreciate it. Yeah, in time I'll get it. So as long as it's up and running till then, I have to use a mouse. I'm able to make do right now, but yeah, there's going to come a point where it's my fault though. I had my computer raised up on books so I could have like the angle of the camera. And when I'm typing, it kind of bent the computer because it wasn't on a flat surface. It was on the books and the computer was a little bit wider. But Phantom, I appreciate that. You're getting me closer and closer every day. And I'm still learning how all this stuff goes. But you guys have been great helping with the technical learning curve. And I'm still waiting. I'm still hoping that I will have a big announcement. I have no idea what's going to go on yet. So just living day by day right now, but there might be a big announcement. We got other people joining. Piesan. I love all your names. I just don't always know how to say them. So what's everybody's favorite area of the country? You know, I noticed I'm in West Michigan now, and even just the people in West Michigan, the men, are different than they are in East Michigan. So it's pretty interesting. And I have friends too that are from East Michigan that agree. There's different areas are different. Also, when I was in Tennessee, the little Bible Belt, also different cultures. And thank you for following. I appreciate that, Byron. We're getting closer and closer to our goal. And USA Mullet Man says, I was in Michigan for a while many years ago. What'd you think about it? Did you like it, Mullet Man, or not so much? Hi, Byron. Thank you for joining. We got MD. Thank you guys for the follow. I appreciate that. I stayed up late today so I could spend some time with you guys. And Debbie says, remember, she had that stroke. Yeah, she was in the hospital for what, about a week or so? She had more than one stroke, didn't she? Or was at least at risk for it. Yeah, it's really sad. Like, you know, if we don't have our health, like health really matters. Thank you for that love. I appreciate that. Thank you for liking the live. USA says, had no choice. I was in a little place called Smiling. Is it Milan? Milan. It looks like Milan, but it's Milan, right? Give me a smile if Milan. I'm trying to remember where that is. And yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Smiling. Okay. So there's Eau Claire, which is a city kind of out this way. But if you know French, it should be Eau Claire, clear water. But we have Charlotte instead of Charlotte. I think they just like making things up the wrong way. But were you happy in Michigan? Did you like it? I don't like the winters at all, but the summers are nice. So yes, two. I thought she had more than one. Is she doing okay with that? Sometimes there's lingering effects after a stroke. And Phantom, you are so sweet. I just might get this computer. Wow. Phantom just keeps donating. That is fantastic. Look at it. I feel like a princess. Oh, 50 heart puffs. Oh my gosh. Definitely #1 gifter. And thank you for the follow, Jerry. You guys are touching my heart. What is this Laugh House thing? I have a Laugh House thing coming up. Thank you so much, Phantom. That's so sweet. Well deserved. I appreciate that. And thank you for liking the lives. And Cynthia, my name is Cynthia too. What do you guys think about that stage name, Cindy Brady? And I'll braid my hair. Cindy Brady. I always wanted to marry a Bobby Brady. What do you think? Cindy Brady and Bobby Brady. Wouldn't that be perfect? So maybe that's why I'm still single. I don't know. Too picky. They're not picky on who the guy is, just what his last name is. How's that? Charlie is here. What do you think? Cindy Brady? Braidy? Oh, Debbie says she's paralyzed on her whole left side. That's how your husband was. Oh my goodness. Um, wow. How old was she? Was she in her 60s? Can't remember how old she was. That's, yeah, strokes are no joke. There's not always warning signs, but they say if you can't raise your arms up, or if you have like facial drooping, or you can't form sentences or incoherent talking, that the time to act is like immediate. Don't waste time. Get care as soon as possible. Some strokes can be intercepted, but Debbie, be aware. You might already know this, but when somebody suffers a stroke, it can kind of change their personality sometimes. And she was only 51. Oh, that's way too young. Was she a heavier lady or not? Or sedentary? Sometimes when we're sedentary, we're at more of a risk for blood clots. So it's important to stay moving. And sometimes it just happens. I'm doing good, Mimi. How are you? Today, I took 2 naps today. Like I said, I was sick for like 2.5 weeks. Still recovering. Had to wake up early, go to work. And at lunchtime, I'm like, I am not going to make it through. Because I was up talking with you guys yesterday. Not good. What's going on? Why aren't you doing too good? How can I help you? And that's what I want for this channel, is like for us to support each other, talk through some of the things that we're going through, make life a little bit easier. You're not doing good? And Brian is here. Brian, what does it say? Brian Dillon. Uh, oh, Mimi says, school was exhausting. I had a panic attack. Yeah, sometimes it can be overwhelming. What I'm trying to remember. What was it that made you have the panic attack? Was it something, just the unknown, not knowing where to get to your classes? Did something trigger you? Because if I remember correctly, you were up a little late last night, and sometimes too when we're not rested, it can affect us. I'm not sure. So sometimes what we have to do is kind of get in tune with what is it that I was just overthinking. A lot of times we bring panic attacks on by ourselves, and moving forward, we can try to be a little bit more prepared. Maybe, get a tour of the building, or connect with someone. I know sometimes we can't always connect. We don't know anybody at the school. It's nerve-wracking, sometimes the sound, or all the people, or the crowds. But I feel that each day should get better. But if you're really struggling, I don't want you having panic attacks all the time. Once you get to know your schedule, write it down. What I always did is on mine, I had it on the first page of my notebook, so I just had to open it. And sometimes, figuring out why. What is it that this panic attack? It could be because you were tired too, and then you start getting worn down. Mimi says, well, I'm not new to the school. It just feels different. Yeah, because we had the whole summer off, and different grade. It's weird how that is, going back to even when I've gone back to my old neighborhood, it's like it just doesn't feel the same. It's going to be different energy. There's different people there. Also, some people have moved on. They've graduated. The different teachers possibly, or different paint that they've used, different lighting. And Dixie says, tune of What's Above Your Head. not trying to just freaked out by it. Are you talking about this? The little circles? It's not on my head. It's just a little wall decoration. You hate it? That's okay, Dixie. You were just being honest. It makes you panic? It's just not the same anymore. Yeah, sometimes we get a little nostalgic and it's like, oh, I had the best year last year and now it kind of freaked you out a little bit. I'm sorry. Interesting. I didn't expect you to be freaked out by that. I'll have to figure out a different way. Yeah, it's just a little wall decoration. It looks different online too. Run is here, says some toxic people the most impossible to deal with, especially if they have enlisted others to do their evil works. And that's an excellent point. Sometimes, I'm sorry, Dixie, but sometimes, yeah, it's even more difficult because of the triangulation, getting flying monkeys and, turning people against you. It can become overwhelming. So not only are you dealing with a toxic person or a narcissist, now you got other people, you got more lies or even just little rumors going on that, yeah, you're really being bombarded. Debbie says, so she was a smoker, but no more of that. She has a long road ahead of her, but I'm sure she will be happy to be home. Yeah, and I pray she's going to be okay, age 51. And do they think her paralysis is going to be permanent? So Dixie says, I'm kind of freaked out a little bit. Oh, you want me to take it down? There we go. How's that? I'll take it down for you. I might put it back up tomorrow. Is that better? Phantom says, is it strange to long for slow days filled with quiet moments of joy? No, I don't think it's strange. We're all in this little rat race of life. And, I just enjoyed the summer. I did work summer school, but it was nice having a little bit of time off. It helps us rejuvenate and enjoy life. Sometimes we don't even have time to live, basically. So no, that's not strange. Dixie says, well, the conversations is so different than what's around you. I'm an alcoholic, but so you're an alcoholic. Are you still struggling, or have you found, I know sometimes people do the AA. So thank you for just joining. Feel free to let me know, do you still struggle with it? And, sometimes when somebody is an alcoholic, sometimes there is that physical dependence and we have to see a healthy way. It's not always just quit drinking. Sometimes there can be repercussions. So sometimes we have to listen to what our doctor says. So your summer, Mimi says, was depressing and draining. Was there something going on in your life? Sometimes we, and the thing with alcohol though, is we have to understand that it starts changing like our brain chemistry. So that, when you're not, it causes more depression or more anxiety. It starts this vicious cycle. And Dixie says, I figured out what my struggles are. What are your struggles? Share that. Yes, so much stuff happened. And then too, you get triggered by things. It causes, anxiety and dependence. Phantom says the world seems to be in a rush, but I choose to remain still. There you go. Yeah. What are we rushing for? Enjoy every moment. Some of us forget to enjoy life. Dixie says, old family pain. And a Turtle, good to have you here. Turtle and I have been trying to connect for about a week or so. Good to have you here, Turtle. Old family pain. And that's the thing, like with ruminating, if you're comfortable, feel free to share more of the story. But if not, sometimes we ruminate over the past, whether it's us like, I just want to be okay. And I'm here to help you. there is hope, there is a way, but we have to get rid of one of the triggers of the things that is causing our depression. And one of them will be alcohol. So I'm not who I was supposed to be. And that's your heart telling you that something's not right. This isn't me. And there's like a longing to get to be your full self again. So even though it's painful, that pain is causing you to consider doing the right things to get to be back who you are or who you're supposed to be. So when you're in that pain is going to keep getting like stronger and deeper and worse until you do the healing or the effort, because our bodies want to go back to being who we are. We will always long for that. And there are ways to do it. But if you try to drown it or try to take little shortcuts, that you're not going to reach your full potential. So it takes strength to keep our bodies on track, to fight the demons that we have, the addictions. We also have to understand, why are we drinking? Are we drinking because we're bored in that moment, that night? Are we drinking out of habit? Are we drinking out of frustration? Turtle says, I swear I can smell you from here and feel the softness of your hair. Have a good evening. Well, hopefully I smell good. Turtle says, I think you're the best. I have to go. Aw, good to have you here, though. I appreciate that. And I'll just take it as I smell. Okay. Thank you, Turtle. Dixie says, my blood father was not my father, and I'm 60. How do I heal? Lies, lies, lies. And, I get it, from the sounds of what you're saying is that your blood father was not your father. It can mean two different ways. That your biological didn't raise you. Is that what you're trying to say? Phantom says, you are awesome. Love your personality, how you help others in your lives. Love your beautiful heart. Thank you so much. I try to be there for you guys, because I get it. Like, life is hard, and there's so many struggles. So 1 second, Dixie, I will catch up with you. Run says, peace of mind is worth millions at a time, be it simple. Some trail mix sitting on a bench waiting to see the red-chested robins come Olay and the dandelions. Ali Sadiq, comedian, wasn't joking. Red-chested robins quote. Relax, enjoy. Yeah, sometimes we just gotta take a breather. Life is not always easy, but there's ups and downs. But yeah, sometimes we feel betrayed or we feel hurt, and we have to realize, we can't change the past. Sometimes people feel that maybe they, in their mind, thought they were doing the best thing. And maybe you're like, no, I needed to know who my real father was. Or we feel like I could have had this relationship. And, there comes a time where we have to forgive and realize that we're living in today instead of the past. And when we keep ruminating towards the past, it's almost like we want answers. We want to fix things, but we can't. We can only fix today and the future. And Fanta, you are touching my heart. You are awesome. And thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you. So Dixie says, I never knew him. You are so sweet. Are you longing? Is that part of why it hurts? Or just the betrayal that you weren't told? It's just too hard to let go. I know sometimes we sometimes are searching for our own identity, and we feel that part of our identity is in our family traits. What's our nationality, or what did my true father do for a living? And, we have to realize, there are times. And when my dad was dying, he's a super religious guy, but he was always trying to research the right answers, and he struggled with that. He read like every type of religious book, whether it was the Quran or the Torah or the Bible, trying to figure out, spiritually what the answers are, and always a truth seeker, like really, like, so he was researching it, and he was on his deathbed, and he's like, I had this, like, it was like a dream vision from, like I said, he's spiritual, but he said from God that there were all these post-it notes, and some of the post-it notes you could read the answers. The answers were clear as day. Others were kind of like abstract. We kind of get the gist of the answer, and he's like, others I could not decipher. And in his heart, he felt that God was trying to tell him, John, it's okay if you don't know all the answers. And when I deal with my narcissism channel, I deal with searching, was my person a narcissist? Was this, could I have done anything different? On and on and on. Sometimes we have to realize we're not going to get all the answers, but who you are is who you are. And sometimes you can give yourself a comfort that even if you didn't know your dad, he is still a part of you. There's times we got to let go and accept. Like my dad accepted, he was able to die in peace. And I don't want you to die, but I'm saying he was able to let go of that stress that was holding him back. And Phantom says, we'll end this evening with the remaining puff hearts. Oh my gosh, I just saw puff hearts 50. You are, thank you so much. Oh, you are awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. Phantom says, hope you have a beautiful evening and take care as well as good evening to all the beautiful people. And thank you so much. I hope you still stayed. So are you still here? So you could have heard me say thank you. Thank you so much. Mimi says, I can't let go. You can, you don't want to, or you're not ready to. You can, but you're just not ready to. Do you know what's holding you back? And what is it that, oh, look at, I get that. I love the heart one, the hand one. Thank you. Why do you say you can't let go? Hello, sunshine. Thank you, Stephen. Dixie says, my legal father is a very good man. I'm like, how did he go through my 60 years? So sometimes we're lucky. Maybe that is like God or the universe looking out for you, having that legal father. Do you know anything about him? Oh, how did he go 60 years without letting you the truth? Your truth. Yeah. Hi, Bill. Good to have you here. And Shapeshifter is here. I'll catch you up. Yeah, Shapeshifter says, jokes aside, mental illness. I agree. So hello to you, Stephen. And that's the thing. We feel betrayed sometimes, it feels wrong. Sometimes it depends on who you are. Can we give him grace? Was he trying to protect you? And it makes us angry. It's like, that's not the protection I needed. But was their intent malicious? It's probably a little selfish. It was a little selfish to where he didn't want to disrupt his relationship with you. And that can be quite painful because, that's hard, that they took away that time. Do you know anything about your biological father? Was he a safe man to be around? Is he still around? Are you able to talk to him? I don't know. You're kind of at that cusp. I don't know if your father is still here or not. Biological. That's hard. That's hard. We have to realize, we have to process those emotions and, do we forgive? Can we forgive? And yeah, Phantom, so much for that. But Steven says, hello. I love being called sunshine. I don't know why. So good night, Phantom, my number one gifter. Mimi says, I can't let go of that person I'm dealing with. Which person is that you're dealing with? Is this a love interest or Dixie says the truth is hard. The emotions are hard. And hi Gators. But Shapeshifter says how much for you to wear pantyhose over your head? $7,000. And then I'll do it. Run says you can change what they did, but you can remember and you can't change what they did, Ron says, but you can remember and change yourself to be better in some form. And yeah, let's get real. I agree. The truth is hard. Let's get real. Let's talk about it. Sometimes we think kids don't have a right to know certain things or that they can't. Like kids are pretty tough. Do you have any siblings from that biological father? And is it GC? And Talk fan. So when did you find out? How did you find out? Sometimes too, how we find out can affect us. So what's up with you, Bill? Tell me how your day is going. Bill says, having trouble being around my family. Uh-oh, what's going on with your family? Why are you having trouble? Are they toxic, demanding? We'll try and talk through that, how to make it better. Or Dixie says, hell if I know. No one knows. Yeah, sometimes, and like I said with my dad, sometimes you just have to realize, we might not get the answers that we want. But how do we move on? How do we deal with today? Are we able to set it free? Because if we don't do that, it starts to eat at us. It starts affecting our life. So, we have to take our power back. We have to, do you feel that they did it in their mind a kind way, or was it malicious? It's easier to give someone grace if you feel that they were at least trying. And have you talked to your mom about it? Because, Dixie says, I left home at 13 and graduated high school and college without anyone. So you are a survivor. Oh my gosh. So obviously the household probably was not too stable if you were to leave home at 13 and stay away, but it sounds like you're motivated, able to graduate high school and college. That is amazing at age 13 that you were able to continue on. You're a self-made man. So I am definitely proud of you. And that is excellent. And you got to have some pride in that. Sometimes our struggles might have brought you to who you are today, because if you had had the different life with your biological father, maybe you wouldn't be as successful, or you wouldn't have met the people that you've met in your life. It would have taken you down a whole different trail that we don't always know what would have happened. And you're a proud Christian. And I like hearing that. I'm a Christian too. And, we have to realize that, there's a plan in everything. We don't always understand it. And I got to do a little puzzle. Why they make me do a puzzle? How long have I been on? Have I been on an hour? So Bill says all of the above by having trouble with being around your family. Is it like a core family where you live in the same house, or is it extended family? Run says, one of my ex-girlfriends was like that. Her dad was missing in action until she graduated and he bought her a car. Yeah, there's that little bumming. Trying to give a car as like a distraction. That's a nice gift, but it's kind of like is what it is. It's not going to make up for not being there. And we all need people in our lives. Yeah, and Dixie says it's been hard, but I was baptized at 11, and that's what kept me sane. And yeah, there's times, where you put your trust in God, and that's how it gets you through, even when it seems hopeless. Thank you, Uncle Buck. I love it that you just followed me. I appreciate that. So Run says she had a lot of trauma. Extended family is what Bill's saying. So the extended family, we can kind of limit how often we see them. We can also try to discuss some of our boundaries. Like, I'd love to come hang out, but I can't be around the alcohol. So if there's going to be alcohol, I can't be there this weekend. But if you have a party where nobody's drinking, I'd love to stop by. I don't know the exact situation that you're going through. Or just say, it makes me anxious when people are yelling. So if there's going to be yelling, I'm not going to be able to stay and follow through on what your boundaries are. Um, so, sometimes when we give chance after chance, people don't take us seriously. Run says he had a whole other family. Eventually, he came around a bit, but his wife, I think, left him. Yeah, that's hard. It gets confusing, and then also sometimes too, you have those feelings like he can love this other person. Why couldn't he stick around for me? And it's traumatic for people. Bill says my family that loved me are all dead. As I get older too, I'm losing people, whether it's friends or family. And, that's part of trying not to be isolated, that we are social creatures, and to continually get out there and meet people. It's harder to meet people now, but that's part of the self-care. Being able to express yourself and enjoy things, and talk with people. And these lives are set up so we can, communicate with each other, interact with each other. But it's also important to, get out there. There are different activities that you can do. It doesn't always have to cost money, but, you know, it's hard. So I feel your pain, the more people we lose, the harder it is. But the extended family, sometimes, especially when you start losing family, where you're like, this is all I have left. Do I settle for them? Um, do you have to see them a lot? Yeah, sometimes it's hard to uh, change patterns. Run says, yeah, she had blended family, other brothers not full, and one sister wasn't related to any of them. She didn't know she wasn't related at all. So there is a lot of that. I had a friend who adopted a girl, and she didn't want to tell her who her true family was. Dixie says, I was in high school and I was still missing on the milk cartons at school. LOL, but I made it. Are you serious? You were in high school, and that'd be wild. You didn't. You're joking. That'd be wild. Going to the cafeteria and getting your milk. And they're just like, okay, 35 cents. And you're like, hello. But I am very, very proud of you for surviving through all of that. But you made it. You made it. Definitely. Can I ask what career? You don't have to share, but I'm curious what career you chose. And if you don't want to share, that's fine. But you were laughing so hard every day. Were you seriously out of milk carton? That would be wild. Are you really? Were you in the back of a truck? They have those kids too. You were laughing so hard. Oh, that'd be wild. Um, so Run says she lost it, was crazy, ran off. So blended families can be difficult. I agree. Bill says, I'm trying not to see them, but it's very difficult. Is it very difficult because you feel that you're expected to show up, or do you feel guilty? not liking them, or do you feel it's the right thing to do? There's something inside of you that is seeing it as difficult, because usually when people aren't nice to us, it shouldn't be as difficult. So we got to kind of see, why do we feel that we need to be around toxic people, or how can we make the situation better? Sometimes we feel helpless, and just hoping that things get better. Dixie says that I've been a hardworking contractor all my life, and my 2 children are successful. See, everything that matters happened. The past is the past, but you are a survivor, and you got children to focus on. So, and successful, you did your job. And, sometimes too, when we feel a neglect, that we give it to our children, to where we're not going to neglect them, we're going to guide them. So your trauma might have really helped your kids, and our kids are what matter. So the trauma might have been your building block to be the best parent you could be. So yes, you are a survivor. You are a soul survivor. We change the past. Yes, you are not going down that same generational trauma, and your kids are better for it. Ren says, I found some that have blended do well with adversity, but can have mental hangups, relationships romantically. There are some blended families do work. Sometimes there's extra money that way, if it's a bunch of child support coming in, or state funding, or maybe the high income parent can have a babysitter now, and just all that kind of stuff, so they can build up the financial ladder. There are some, but they have mental hangups. A lot, yeah. Blended families can be hard. They have a high failure rate. So I'm proud of you for changing the past, Dixie. That is great. Dixie's TikTok. That's my dog's name. My dog is Dixie. My daughter named him. So unfortunately, it is a 12:34, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I should probably get some sleep. But thank you guys. I appreciate that, and I will tomorrow. I have one more scheduling day late at night. My tutor's coming over to help with setting up our school schedule. We had the kids coming in. ¿Cómo estás? Bueno, ¿y tú? Mucho gusto. And thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Buenas noches. So Ron says projection, basically when in romantic relationships at time. We got to be careful with projection. Bien. Bueno. And thank you, Dixie. I appreciate the rose. That is so sweet. And is it Alan says you're beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for that rose, Dixie. I appreciate that. You're beautiful. You guys are so sweet. But Debbie says, speaking for myself, I can say some of my friends were toxic, but we hang around. What is familiar for us since I met this narcissist, I now realize everything. That's true. Sometimes it's familiar, and doesn't mean that's why we're supposed to go through these lessons to learn. We can't keep doing it. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that, Rose. You just got the #1 gifter badge. Awesome. Hi, Matt. And Run says, have a good night. So yes, I hate logging off when you guys are so wonderful with those donations. But yeah, I definitely, unless you have something pressing right now, I will let you guys type something real quick if you have something pressing that you need to talk about. If not, I do have to wake up early for my 3rd day of professional development. And yeah, got to get back on that school schedule. Not liking it. And thank you so much. No inglés. Español. Habla español. Thank you so much. Sweet dreams to you too. Gracias. Hasta la vista. Español. Pequeña. But mucho gusto. Good night. Good night to you all. Buenas noches. Hasta mañana. Hasta luego. Have a good day, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Gracias. Oh, I love you. Te amo. See you soon, guys. Have a good night. Bye. Oh, so pretty. Thank you so much. I'll be on tomorrow night. It'll probably be like 11 or 12 o'clock at night because I do have my tutors. But guys, thanks so much. Hit that like button, share, and I will see you tomorrow night.